a specialized tarmac S-Works SL7, genuine product. And Valverde's just crashed out of his last ever stage race. Very unfortunate. I think Valverde should keep going personally for next year, etc. Obviously, he can't race with broken collarbone right now. So very unfortunate. How did he crash? He's riding disc brakes. All right. I dare say, highly likely if you had rim brakes, if you had the brakes in the middle here, he's running skinny little tyres. He's running 25mm tyre. Super skinny rubber for speed, aero, and weight, rotating mass, etc. 23s even maybe, but Carapaz runs a 22, Conti on the front. So he's got skinny tyre, and when you got a brake here, you've got more control because it's more even, all right? The wheel doesn't get pulled to one side. Now, when you have a disc brake, you know, I'll grab the front lever here. Actually, I can't even reach it, it's too high. Roxy, can you grab that front lever for us? No, she's not going to do that. But what happens is when you grab the piston, the rotor bends a bit, and the wheel just minutely tweaks out. It just, which is okay for me and you, the everyday rider. But when you're Valverde, you know, on the descent, smashing it, GC, getting hyped up, getting the boners on the downhills, and you hit a pothole you didn't see, you get your hand drops, and then you grab some brake. But at that speed, you can't modulate the disc brakes, because disc brakes, if you've ever used them in the heat, on the long descents, etc., they expand, they overheat, they grab bit, they grab that, they're not consistent. Rim brakes are consistent. You know what you get in rim brakes. But disc brakes, they can grab because the rotors can bend a bit if you have a crash beforehand, or you get knock or something like that. Things just happen. You know, the start line, you got your bikes all lined up, and the mechanic knocks it accidentally. He doesn't have time to fix it. But it's just things just happen to these little pistons get all grabby. You know, like things just get stick in there, a bit of grit. The piston sticks. All of a sudden, your brakes aren't consistent, which is fine for us gravel racers, us mountain bikers cruising around. You got a big tyre, no worries. But the speeds that these guys are cornering at, if you watch the footage, go to Lantern Rouge, etc., he does a good slow-mo, you can just see Valverde's front wheel just washes out. His tyre loses grip because the brake is grabbing, and then it's left, right, good night. So disc brakes have no place in road. If they're going to run discs, they should run cable discs, because the cable is less prone to heat expansion, etc. All right. And the spoke, look at this, you got two cross spoke on here, and you got radial here. I mean, that's what I mean. Like that, this wheel is not balanced properly. All right, it's not balanced properly for road. For gravel, fine. For recreational road, fine. For mountain bike, fine. But for road race at that level, you know, at the pointy end of the world tour, this isn't safe. This is not safe. All right, and these riders don't have a choice, because Movistar's a low budget team. They've got to put up and shut up. Zip give them stuff, Canyon give them stuff. They can say, this is what we want to sell to the noobs out there. You guys ride it. Yeah, these bike brands don't care about Valverde, etc. You're just a pawn. Shut up, ride what we tell you to ride. You know, UAE, though they own Colnago now, so there's a bit of a disc brake agenda pushing that. But you know, you've got Team Sky, Ineos running Pinarellos, big budget team that can just basically buy what they want. What they do, they buy whatever wheels they want. They don't care about Shimano, whatever, they just ride whatever they want to ride. And that's how it should be. So I feel it's really unfair that Valverde's put all this work in, got his blood up, like everyone else is doing at that top point level, and then he has to crash because these stupid bloody disc brakes on road bikes for pros is just absolute ridiculousness. If you want disc brakes, that's okay, all right? That's okay, but don't think the pros want it. The pros don't want disc brakes. Movistar absolutely hates disc brakes. You know, you can even see that Netflix doco, which is really unusual for a team to speak out against a sponsored product, but that's how it is. But these noobs out there, you know what I mean? Like, these noobs out there, Harley, you're wrong. Dude, I've got an SL7, I've got an $8,000 frame just sitting on a freaking trampoline. Like, I've got so many bikes, man. It's insane. I can have whatever I want. And these for road racing, this is a piece of junk, man. Absolute piece of junk. This is S-Works SL7. Absolute biggest piece of junk Specialized ever sold in the tarmac line. Absolute piece of junk for road racing. All right? For cruising down the shops, with your fat barrister mates or whatever, no worries. It's great. Instagram, kudos, fantastic. SL7, people, noobs throw over it. But for road race, man, no way, mate. Absolute junk. What you want. You know, this is even braking. Look at that. You can just get it perfectly tuned. You have it scented properly, and you know what you're getting with, you know, in the wet, you know they're a bit slippery, just, you know what you're getting. You can, you know, get a bucket wheel or whatever, you can open it up, close it off. You can just, you know, you can do all these things, you can just change it on the fly. Remember, Contador always open his brakes before the descent or the climb. So it's just, you know, if you need more than a Dura Ace or a 105 caliper, you need to learn how to adjust your brakes properly, man. You know? This is perfect. You get totally dialed. Totally dialed. Some people say, oh, these carbon rims cost money. A lot of money. Of course they cost money. But this, I got this set for, how much was it? I can't even remember. Was it 60 bucks or 80 bucks? I can't, it's so cheap. I can't even remember how cheap I got these repeats for. One of the spokes was busted. Got that fixed. The hub, the bearings were chocked. Got that fixed. And it's, you know, it's fine and good to go. So these things are dirt cheap now. All the Rafa riders, etc., map riders, the people who want to spend 500 bucks on a jersey, they're getting rid of these things super, super cheap, all right? Super, super cheap. Rim brakes get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper every 3 months, all right? So this is a perfectly fine rim, but look at it. Look at the cosmetic. It looks crap. It looks garbage. Cosmetically, 2 out of 10. Materialistic, safely wise, it's even got the little, these things, that's totally fine. There's not much thickness in here. This is like 8 out of 10 mechanical wise, 2 out of 10 cosmetic. And the people who, you know, will spend 500 bucks on a jersey or a pair of Nicks, they're not going to ride stuff like this. It's dirt cheap. It's thrown out to landfill even. This would be in landfill for some riders. They just chuck it out or sell it on Facey for dirt cheap, you know. That's just what we're talking about.